Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of our Mardel Rubio colour along. As you can see, I've finished her skin now. Yours should look something like that. Don't worry if it doesn't look exactly the same as mine. No two people colour the same that I know of at all. So don't worry. I'm sure it'll look fine if you use the same colours as I did and sort of where I done the colours. It should be fine. I'm just going to use some pink rose. We are using the Prismacolors, and I'm just going to go over with her lips. Now my ink on this HP ink does smudge, so I am not going to do too much on this because I don't want her to have mucky looking lips, of course. So I'm just going to do very pale there and just leave it at that for now. Right, I thought maybe we would do some flowers, and I've picked out for the flowers, I don't know if this is going to work, but this is how I run. I just pick some colours and they either work or they don't. Now I've picked out Mulberry and Processed Red and Hot Pink. So to begin with, I am going to go in with the Mulberry, and we'll start on this one up here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I am just where these lines are. He's put some lines in for you, so I'm just going to go over them lines with the Mulberry, like this. Hope that it's showing up okay. I daren't zoom in anymore because it'll just blur and then you won't be able to see what I'm doing, so I hope you can see what I'm doing from this angle. You should be able to from here. It's not that far away. If it's a problem, then I can always get out for these smaller bits. I can always get out the smaller tripod and the macro lens if you want to see me, do it closer up. If you do, just let me know in the comments, and in the next video I will do the closer up version with the macro lens on the smaller tripod. But I know I can't please everybody. I know some people prefer to see me do the closer up version on the tripod. Some people prefer me to do this angle, which is a bit further away, so they can see the whole picture. Unfortunately, this camera, I don't know why, I still don't know why, it just completely blurs when I zoom in to try and get close. So I daren't go in much closer than this because I don't want it to blur for you, because that won't be any good either. Right, we've gone over all of the petals, all of the lines that he's put in there. Now what I'm going to do is, you can judge yourself, like I said with the skin and the shading. You can look on Google and look for a flower that resembles this. They look very similar to, I've forgotten the name, there's my brain fog again. I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, I'm sure you'll know sort of similar flowers, and you can look on Google and find a similar sort of flower. Now obviously if you think about the shading, underneath here is obviously going to be darker because that's underneath these petals here. So we will do that under there, just a little bit out there because that will be shadowed like so. This one here, this one will also be a little bit of shade in here because it's behind the others, so that will be a little bit darker as well, so we'll put a bit in there. The same for this one at the bottom here, it will be a bit more shaded because it's behind the others. So that can be a little bit darker as well in there, like so. And the same with this one here at the back, that can be, and this one here is behind that one. So this is just how I work. I like to try and just think about what's behind what would be shadowed, what would be in light. And obviously if something is behind something else, it's going to have a bit more of a shadow to it. That's just how I work, it's just how I think. I don't know, that could be wrong. I mean, all the shadows that I put in are not necessarily all in the right places where they really should be. But I don't look on Google for flowers. I don't, you know, do anything. I just do what I think, and it works usually. Right or wrong, I like it. And if anybody else doesn't, too bad. My picture, and I like it. So that's how you should, you know, that's the sort of frame of mind you should have, really. It's your colouring. You can colour it any way you want. You don't even have to do things that, you know, the colours that they are in real life. You can do blue leaves, or any colour you want, basically. They don't have to be green. I know some, like in autumn, obviously, there'll be more orange and brown and yellow. But I mean, you can do purple leaves, you can do blue leaves, you can do any colour you want. It really doesn't matter. It's your picture. Make it your own. You know, do what you want to do. If you imagine something being a different colour, then do it that colour. You know, it's your picture, and so long as you like it, that's all that matters. Some of my pictures I really like, some of them I don't. I don't picture a certain colour at all with anything. I don't sort of look at a picture and think, yeah, that should be that colour, or that, yeah, that should be that colour. I just pick a picture, and then I just look at the flowers and go, right, I'm going to do them this colour, or I'm going to do her hair this colour, or the leaves this colour. So I don't have a preference, and I don't pick beforehand. I don't use colour combinations. I know a lot of people do, and they go to sites, what is it called, colourseeds.com or something. A lot of people use different, you know, combination sites to help them. I don't do that. I just, whatever I think goes, you know. That's probably a wrong way to do it, and the wrong way to look at it, but that's me. That's how I work. I think that there's a bit down there, and I don't think it's part of a headdress or anything, so that's going to be petal as well. Right, and then we're going to go in with, I think we're going to go with the lightest one, which is the hot pink. And I'm going to try and use this as I would use a harder pencil. It usually, for me, I don't seem to be able to do them light enough. They usually come out, you know, because they're wax pencils, they seem to get a wax build up on them, and then they just go all bobbly, and there's all clumps of wax in different colours, and it looks awful. But I'm going to see what I can do this time. I'm going to leave the tips white. I'm not going to go right to the ends. I'm going to sort of leave the tips white on these, and we'll see how we go. So this is what I think when I sort of, I just, like I said, I don't pick colours, I don't have any ideas beforehand. I just think, oh, I'm going to do that sort of colour, and away I go. wasn't sure really what I was going to do with these, but I just picked these colours out and thought I like these colours together. They looked like they would go together, so they are going together. So there you go. Right or wrong, that's me. That's how they're ending up, and if it's not right, it's just too bad. Right, so try and keep the ends sort of white if we can, and go over all the lines that you made with the mulberry. And thinking about it, this leaf, this petal should I say here, I should have done in shadow, because that's shadowed by that leaf. So I'm just going to go in with my shadow there with the darkest colour. I've gone over my leaf, but I'll erase that later when we do the leaves. It's not a problem. Right, so we're going in with the hot pink. Very lightly, if you hold the end of your pencil, that will help you to use your pencil a lot lighter. But we want to be able to see the colour, so you know, don't go so light that we can't actually see it. So I'm going to just do pink there because I'm not sure, and I'm going to do pink there as well. Basically, I find this a lot. You'll get a picture and you're not quite sure what something is, or if that's part of something else or part of the bit that you're doing, like that bit, you know, there's nothing sort of to show you what it's supposed to be. But like I said, it can be anything you want. Any picture can be anything that you want it to be. You know, it's your picture. If you're not sure what something is, just colour any colour. I mean, I coloured a Mardel Rubio picture the other day just to see if my ink would smudge or not, and it didn't smudge too badly on that picture. And it was like a sort of Viking looking man with a beard, and I'd done him with grey hair, and there was something going round him, and if you sort of followed down from his arm, it looked like it was part of his arm, like his sleeve. He had a jacket on, and these sort of long things were just sort of hanging from the arm bit, and I wasn't sure. They didn't look like feathers, and my husband said they looked like pieces of leather. So I thought, okay, cool, I'm going to do them, you know, sort of leather looking, which is what I did. The picture is on my Instagram. Still not sure what the bits were, mind you, but I did them what I thought sort of leather looking. And it's not come out too bad. You know, I'm quite pleased with that. The skin tone, although it's a free, like this one is a quick 3 style skin tone. You know, it's not one of my longer skin tones like what Sammy does or whatever. I do longer skin tone ones as well, with several different colours sometimes, depending on what sort of pencil I'm using. But so for this one we are using the Prismas, because most people seem to have them. Okay, now we've got the processed red, and again we're going to go over the dark bit and we're going to bring it out slightly, and not to the top, but we're going to bring it out where we shadowed and that. We're going to go over it again and we're going to bring it out just a little bit. I've gone over again, but I'm going to have to erase that. I hate it when I do that. So, just like that. Now, I don't know if this is right or whether this is wrong, but this is how I do it. So these bits would be quite shaded, I think. So we're going to go to the top on them ones, because that petal curls up. This one didn't really do much dark at the bottom there, did we? So we're going to start at the bottom and work up just enough, and we will be going back in with the mulberry and we will darken these lines up, because as we've gone up with them, the dark lines have sort of disappeared. So we will be going back in with them. I'm gonna try and just sort of, don't go so high that you cover up the hot pink. We still want to be able to see that, but you can go sort of quite close to the edge, but leave a white. You know, make sure that you've left the white and you can still see the hot pink that we did as well. So I'm going to do this on all of them, so that will sort of darken up the bottoms and that, I hope, as well. So like so. Yeah, my neighbours were very noisy earlier. It was a good job I weren't filming. It sounded like they had a I don't know, shotgun type thing, not a shotgun as such, but some type of gun or something, I don't know, and they were hanging out the windows and making a lot of noise. It sounded, I'm not sure if it was a gun or they were banging pieces of wood or something, I'm not sure, but they were doing something and making an awful lot of noise, as they do. But there you go. You can't pick your neighbours, I'm afraid, unless you just keep moving around until you find neighbours that you're really happy with. I'm afraid that's sort of what you have to put up with. So we'll go in again with the hot pink and we'll just bring this up, not to the very ends, but just nearly to the tips. So we've just got white tips on there, like that. Now, I don't always colour these type of flowers like this. I have several different ways that I will do flowers. Perhaps we might do some of the other ones slightly different, because I mean, even though they're the same flower, they're not always exactly the same colour. They might be the same colours, but not in the same you know, way. They're not patterned in the same way. Right, now we need our mulberry, and we're going to go over these dark lines again, like this. So we want them sort of prominent, so we can see them, because the artist has put them in for a reason. Now I like to sort of try and keep to what the artist has done himself, because if you don't, it starts looking a bit weird if you just ignore them bits and then put your own bits in, and it just looks a bit strange. So we're gonna do this like so. So, I mean, you can pick other colours, you don't have to pick the same colours as me. You can do peach flowers, for instance, you know, with a dark peach and a medium peach and a light peach. You know, you can do that. You can basically do any colours you want. You can do blue flowers or just whatever takes your fancy. You know, don't be scared to do a different colour flower to what the colour, you know, what flowers actually are. I mean, you get blue flowers, so you know, any flower can be a blue flower. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, the colours that they are. Right, I've got a white pencil. It's a bit dull, but it is a white pencil on my extender, because it's getting a bit small now, and I'm just going to whiten up these tips that we left left here. I'm just going to whiten them up a bit, and that will also just blend in the other colours where it touches that. So that's what I'm going to do with them. All the way around the edges. If you've got pink on the edges, then it doesn't matter if there's no white there. This will blend it in and tone it down. So you know, you might not have a white edge, but it will be a lighter colour around there. It'll just merge it into like a pale pink. And you know, not all petals on the flower are exactly the same. You know, some can have white edges, some can not have white edges. They're all different, so just go with whatever you feel like doing. You don't have to, there is no right or wrong way really to do this. So that's that one. I'm gonna just get the mulberry again, and we've lost a bit of our shading, so I am just going to go in with the mulberry and just put the shading back in there that we've lost through putting the other colours on. So this is the colour we used for the pattern on the petals. So I'm just going to go around the edges where there would be a shadow, what we did put in but we've now lost because of the other colours we've put on. So we'll do that just so it looks a bit more realistic. I used to use a lot of black for my shadows. I don't tend to use a lot of black now. I tend to go with the colour. Sometimes I use sepia, or I can use a purple or a navy. Sometimes, like now, it'll be the colour that the flower is, but a dark colour of that flower, like what we're doing now, really. So yeah, so I mean, just do what you think, and if it's a PDF, if you don't like it, doesn't matter, you can print it out again. Experiment, try with these things, try you know, different colour flowers, try different colour shadows on pictures and see what you think. If you want to use black, you can use black. There's, you know, nothing to say you can't use black. I do sometimes use black depending on the picture. I was in a rush yesterday when I did that like Viking type man that's now on Instagram, and I didn't shade properly in between the leather pieces or whatever they were supposed to be, and I just sort of quickly did it with black. It doesn't look very good, but I was in a hurry. I didn't care really. I was just testing out the Prismacolors on something that had been printed, you know, a long time ago, just to see if the ink would smudge. That wasn't a picture that I actually liked. It wasn't a picture that I really intended on colouring. And then when I saw it, I just thought, well, I don't like this picture, I shall try it out, and if the ink smudges, you know, it doesn't matter really, because I don't like the picture anyway. And I did the skin tone and it didn't smudge only a very tiny bit, like this one has a very tiny bit, and it looked okay. And I thought, okay, now what colour shall I do this, what colour shall I do that, and ended up doing the whole picture on a picture that I had no intention of doing in the first place. But so yeah, that was quite funny that I ended up completing a picture that I had no intention of actually doing originally. So yeah, that was quite amusing. But I was just testing things out and just thought I didn't want to mess up a nice picture, so I'd use a picture that I didn't actually like, and ended up completing it. That's one flower. We're going to use the same colours as we did for the other flowers, so we'll move down to this one. I don't know if I'm going to get 2 flowers done. I'm going to do the lines again, like I did on this one. Quite dark lines on this. You need to do them quite dark so that they show up, and then you get the idea of where the artist has put things, and it'll, you know, guide you of where to put shadows and things, and the petals. I mean, obviously petals, a lot of petals do have you know, dark lines on them, and obviously if they're meant to have that, then you want them to show up. So we're just going, you really need a sharp pencil. Really, my pencil's not that sharp, so I'm going to just keep turning it. If you turn your pencil, I forget very often, I get carried away and forget to turn my pencil, but if you turn your pencil every so often, after every few strokes should I say, it actually is supposed to keep it sharp, because you're sort of going around and around, and so it's supposed to keep it sharp. Like I say, I forget to turn my pencil. I get so engrossed in what I'm doing that I completely forget. A little bit there. Okay. Then we're going to do, what did we do last time? We did shadows, didn't we? So we'll go in with the shadows. So that's going to be dark in there, because that's that petal there. This is going to be dark here, because this petal is over this one. So that's going to be dark down there. This one's going to be dark there, because that petal again is over the top of this one. So we've got a dark bit there, and we've got a dark bit on that one, and this one's going to be dark on the bottom here, and it curls over, and that one curls back, so there's a slight one there because that curls back on itself, that one. It's going to be dark in there, and this one is going to be dark round there. Okay, we're getting there. I don't know what these are, they've got no marks on them, but I'm going to do them dark round the bottoms of them anyway. Like I said, you know, if you're not sure what something is, make it up, you know. Just do what you think. That's the best way to learn, and then you sort of look and you think, well, that was either right or that was wrong. If it's wrong, no biggie, you know. If it's a PDF, then you can just do it again, no big deal. If you did it right, then you've taught yourself something. That one's over that one, so it'll be shaded there. That one's over that one, so it'll be shaded there. So these are the sort of things I think about when I'm colouring, you know, what one, I miss ones very often, but I try to think what's over what and what would be darker, what would be light. But like I said, you can always get a Google picture up if you're not sure what to do, and just sort of see. And I still can't remember the name of these flowers, but never mind. One of my favourite flowers as well. It's ME and fibro, brain fog. I'm always forgetting things, always forgetting things. It's like quite annoying, because I know what they are. I know what they are. They're one of my favourite flowers, and the name just gone. Does that all the time. But that's life. Might even be the pills, you know, how many I take, about 20 pills a day, 20 odd pills a day, and more if it's a methotrexate day. So yeah, right, we're going to do this slightly different, I think. Next thing, I'm going to do sort of, not all of this, but I'm going to do patches. I'm going to leave the tops white still, but I'm going to just do sort of patchy bits. That would be white because it's curled over. I want them to do a little bit of pink on there. And I'm just going to do it patchy. Each one is just going to have a little bit of colour on it. Like so. This is what I mean. I mean, you don't have to do flowers all the same way all the time. You can do, you know, different ones and mix it up. And, you know, sometimes there's more white than there is on others. And, you know, no two are ever the same. You just make it up. Just do what you feel like doing. Go with the flow. This is all I'm doing. I mean, I'm not putting it in any particular order or space, and I'm just laying some colour down. That's all I'm doing at the moment. Then we'll go in with the processed red, and the same as we did before, we're just going to bring a little bit up, but we're also going to bring a little bit up, just a tiny amount from the Mulberry shadow. And then we're going to just the same we did with the pink. We're going to just do some bits that are just processed red. So we've got some bits that are processed red, some bits that are pink. You can have some bits that are both a bit darker. You can be a bit darker up here if you want, instead of being darker down the bottom. There is so much you can do. You know, you can mix and match and just mix it up. So I'm gonna do, what's the time? 32. So yeah, I mean, basically no petal is ever the same. So you just do what you feel. Just do what you feel like doing. This is all I do. Obviously I'm going to put it down the bottom because I want to blend in the shadows, but that is all that I do. And I just think, well, no petals are the same, so you know it's not going to look odd by the time you're finished, because that's how petals are sometimes. So yeah, I mean, that's nature. That's nature for you. They're never the same. So we're bringing it up slightly. I'm going to bring it up that side, so that side is quite dark. And then just a tiny bit up there. And bring that bit up there, so it's a bit darker up there. So we'll do that. Right, then we're going to go in with the hot pink again. And we're going to darken these hot pink bits up. In between, well, we can actually go over the hot pink as well, or the processed red. We can go over all of that. These bits can go in there. And we can basically just do whatever. Do whatever. So some petals have got light and dark and white on the ends, and you know, some haven't, some are just lighter, and whatever. Just mix and match it up. That's all you have to do. And you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, just leave patches, leave white patches, leave it patchy, and that's all you have to do. So we're going to go back in with the Mulberry, and we're going to darken up the lines again, and the shadows, because some of them have been taken away with our other colours. So I'm going to put a bit more mulberry in there, like so, and that'll be dark there as well. That bit will be dark, that's a white on petal on the end, so that's fine. Around with these ones, do the lines, don't forget to do them, just so they're more bold and they stand out a bit better. So, keep an eye on the time as well, because if it goes to about 43 is usually when I suddenly hear blip and it goes to another file, and I really don't like having one video in two separate files. I haven't got a video editor or anything so I can put them together. If anyone knows of one, a cheap one or a free one that works really well, let me know, and then I can do longer videos of course and put them together. That would be ideal. But yeah, see, so that one looks slightly different to that one. Not a lot different, but you can see like the petals are patchy. You know, they've got light bits, dark bits, all over the place really. And you know, it's the same flower, but it looks slightly different. As do they all in nature. They're all slightly different. So yeah, that is all that I do with my flowers. There are some more flowers. There are a couple up here, which I think are the same. Up here, there are a couple down here, three down here, sorry, three here, and one here. So I will leave you to do them on your own using these three colours, which is the mulberry, the processed red, and the hot pink. You can do them any way you want. You can do them the way I did this one, or you can do them the way I did this one. Any way works, doesn't matter how you do it. So I'll see you next time, and I'll do these in my own time, and we'll come back when all the flowers have been done and we'll work on another bit. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.